welcome to a special year-end episode of the One Piece podcast. My name is Zach, and since we're going to be taking the week off and the rest of our crew is out celebrating the holidays, we are going to present a special preview of our Patreon exclusive episode featuring me and Steve talking all about the last year and the last 10 years, going through Steve's whole history with the podcast, my whole history with the show, and what Steve is up to now. So there's about 2 hours worth of this on our Patreon page. That's at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. You could get full access to that for $5 and up. So I suggest you go right now if you don't want to listen to part of it and subscribe. Again, patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. We also have a lot of other cool stuff, including we're already up to, this is our 6th episode of our Crewing Around series, which is just us talking about basically anything we want and anything that you guys on Patreon want. So you guys send us questions. We talk about those topics. We also have a full-length documentary that we filmed back in 2013, The One Piece Podcast Goes to Japan. That's available exclusively on there. We have alternate images and alternate titles from Maddie and Steve. We also make our guest announcements and other announcements on the Patreon page first, as well as other exclusive audio, video, and anything else in between. Again, that's all at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. And before I get into this, I also want to let everyone out there know I'm going to have some pretty cool guests at the beginning of 2020. From Steve's other podcast, The Deep End, we have Matthew J. on January 5th. From the Anime News Network, we have Crystal and Hodgkins on January 19th. From YouTube, Grand Line Reviews joining us on January 26th. And then in February, we have Eyepatch Wolf, Henry Thurlow, our second Kuja cast, and Dan Dockery is rounding out that month. So that's just January and February. We have a lot of really cool stuff going on. So please, keep an eye out for news on our social media pages, on Twitter, Facebook, etc. And subscribe to us if you don't, on either Apple Podcasts or on SoundCloud.com/OnePiecePodcast, Spotify. We're everywhere. Just search One Piece Podcast. With that, we'll let you guys enjoy a little bit of an excerpt of this week's Patreon episode, featuring myself and Steve in an extremely laid-back discussion about the last year and the last 10 years. So everyone have a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2020. No, I mean, I have to say, so Steve, I don't know, we were just talking before we started recording how you're a working professional. You're on some show that's very popular.
Is it weird that I'm a professional? Because I feel like I still can't say it, but I guess I've been a working professional for.
Steve, who is your boss right now?
Rick Sanchez.
No, like you're working daily, right, with Wes Archer. You could say that he's the supervising director.
Who's been on our show?
Who's been on our show too. But I mean, like, I was watching the first season of The Simpsons the other day, and Wes Archer's name is all over that.
Yeah.
And it's like, how surreal is it, not to make this into a Steve Yurko interview, but like, how surreal is it to like be working with people who were like working on your favorite shows that you watched as a kid?
I feel like I'm not a good person to ask that, because I think there's other people I know who do the research. They know all the names.
No, you're talking about Matt. But no, I meant for you.
I'm not that. That's the thing.
I'm asking.
That was me in college too, and I would just have these professors and be like, It's like, you were taught by this guy. It's like, did you know him ahead of time? Like, no, I needed a. It's like, okay, I needed a class at noon.
No, so. I'm not asking for like a.
But how does it? No, honestly, like,
I'm like even if you're like, I'm so unimpressed by them and their.
No, it's Rick and Morty is the first time in a while I'm just like working with people. I'm like, oh, holy shit, it's I'm working with Wes Archer, and this dude, has been animating on The Simpsons and all that. He's been involved with some of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons. Like even like one of my former directors, Pete Michaels directed. Like he directed, was it like he directed many of episodes, but one of the ones he directed was Brother from Another Series. He has
I love that
he
one.
has like a framed cell of that.
Really?
Yeah, the one with Bob at the doorway. So, right before he says, "Especially Lisa, but especially Bart."
That's probably one of my favorite lines in the series.
It I don't know.
There's a lot of good ones.
I feel like I'm about to say sounds just really
Corny.
No, self-indulgent, but I think we've naturally like us as a podcast, because I think these days most of my successes can be tied to this podcast.
I think I'm gonna go out on a okay. So like
yes, I can explain if you want.
Okay,
me to.
good, because I don't understand.
But I think if we had like a big like
whiteboard,
or just with the strings, I think everything would be tied back to the podcast.
You need old newspapers.
I think it's been like a natural creep for us, and not like creep as in my career.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
because we started small with this podcast, and then we started branching. When we started going to conventions, we started trying to interview voice actors. From there, we talked with people that work at in the industry more. And then from there was following the official release, and then just the more people we know, then they would introduce us to other people. It's like Brian's like, oh, let me get Wes Archer on the show for you.
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
still
that.
Surreal.
And that's kind of like how my career has gone. Like I started small, I started humble, and then
Yeah, you have always been modest, sometimes too modest, considering you're
to a fault.
No,
I'd
not.
agree.
I mean, I have seen your abilities as an artist grow tremendously over. I mean, did you do that decade challenge? The thing that everyone does online where they
I did with my character from my comic.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But I mean, you've really. I think that's a great example because your style has transformed so fundamentally.
And that's the thing. Like as artists, I think in my head, I'm like, no, like I remember the way I drew that, and it's exactly the way I would draw it now. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh no, this is ass ugly.
It's like everything you've done, you do as a human being changes over, especially over 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
I forget what point I was just trying to make, but I think it's just like I don't. Sometimes I don't get caught up in the awe of it, and I'm not.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm like, yeah, I should be here. It's just more like I don't know. It's
you're at work.
It's not like I wasn't picked from obscurity. I kind of had to
Yeah, but you also
way
so we're talking about your dark ages being here right after college.
Yeah.
You took that leap and moved to Los Angeles. I remember us
Took a while.
sitting having sake in that restaurant that I think got closed down since. I don't think it exists.
Was that when we're hanging out
the
with?
Japanese one? Not Kenka. The one
No,
in,
Kenka's still there.
Kenka's still
and they're busy. As
although
ever.
they did get shut down for a health violation that one time.
Is that when we met up with Ein?
Oh yeah, I think we were going to go there and it got shut down.
Yeah.
And then we went to some Mexican
Who now
place.
is
Yeah, he's working
a
at Disney.
director.
Yeah.
I think he's at DreamWorks now.
DreamWorks.
Again, but he that's how it is.
mistake.
He bounced around a bunch, but
Was he was at
he was at Disney for a very long time.
That's where he did
He directed on Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6.
I'm sure that guy has a very interesting story to tell because he used to be a teacher. It's like he was never going to pursue art as a career. Yeah,
Yeah, we had him on.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He finally was that his first time on our show?
Yep.
He was great. It was a shame I
have him
didn't
on
get to be
again,
on.
hopefully.
I mean, I had to I was like, I was setting things up for you guys between two. I was like his liaison. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, you're going to call on Skype and all that. And yeah,
Steve's the agent.
no, when I listened to that show, yeah, he was fantastic. It's a shame it took so long for us to finally have him on. But
I mean,
busy guy.
at least with having guests, it's been a really good excuse to reach out to people I normally would not reach out to. We have a lot of people on the show that we've never had on before.
I think it's just now we're in the era where there's everyone's a content creator. Everyone
But everyone's also
something.
much more reachable. Like Henry Thurlow is a really cool example.
Yeah.
And also things are getting more international. So a lot more people who speak English are in Japan working on One Piece, and that we could talk to them and have conversations. And what's also cool is Jump Festa just happened a few days ago or whenever. I don't want to date
Not a whole lot of
whenever
big
this
news,
is.
but
No, but everything was released in English or in Japanese on the Twitter account.
Yeah.
Like, remember what we used to have to do to report on Jump Festa?
poke Greg with a stick.
Poke Greg with a stick. Wake up, Greg. Oh, no, it was like
Or it was more like wake up us.
Wake Up Us. Yeah, we're up at like 4 a.m. waiting for whatever the big news is
got
from Oda's
sick doing
stage
that
show.
one time.
And we had to get like donations to get Oda there. Not to get Oda
Greg
there, to
there.
get Greg
Yeah.
there.
I remember that.
Didn't Greg have to like not beg a family? Like he had to like, what was the story? I don't even remember that story.
I know, like, yeah, a family like let him
Let
in.
him
Yeah.
into the stage show. Like he was trying to get into it, but like they made it very restrictive. I don't remember. Now it's like,
It was like a ticket, like it was tickets.
do they don't live stream it now?
I don't think so.
No, but Oda's not there anymore, so it's a
Nah.
completely different. Yeah.
It's just the voice actors come out, they do Japanese humor with a hey,
Oh, so
and,
where
and then everyone sings "We Are" or "Family" or whatever. And
So where I was going with this whole how is it being a professional is that you've also taken the time to draw the images. That's what we were talking about. I completely
Okay,
forgot.
yeah.
And so like,
well, I just like to sum that up. It's just like
yeah.
it's like sometimes like I stop and like think I'm like wait how that like this is where I'm at right now, and like I don't know, for me it's kind of just it's been a blur. But at the same time this is kind of something I've wanted, so it's not like I don't know, it sounds really full of myself to say, but it's like it's something I kind of always envisioned. So a part of
Well, it's
Like
it's
the
on your dream board,
like it's like
like
the,
in The Secret.
like the success of this podcast. I don't know. It's like when we got to do like voices on like in the dub.
Yeah.
It was like it was kind of like crazy. Like, and I find myself once I'm in the moment, I'm kind of just in the moment, and
Yeah.
like
I am too.
it's like everything I thought 4 times like out of my head. But I was like, oh, wow, is it? Are you like are you just like surprised, or were you taken aback to be in the dub? I'm like, I don't know. It's something we kind of always wanted. So then when the opportunity happened, like, yeah, we'll do it.
I mean, for me, it's when something big is happening, I don't really have an opinion about it until just before it's happening. Then I get very nervous. Then I'm just in it. And then
Yeah.
afterward, I'm like, I can't believe that thing just happened.
That's usually how it goes
Yeah.
for me.
And then I'm like, of course that happened.
You know, when I did have that kind of feeling, though, it's like me kind of take a step back, like, I can't believe that this is happening. I think it was just when we were in Japan.
Yeah.
Just like, like we were with a bunch of people, but really the 4 of us, like, here we are in like a One Piece theme park. It's just like, yeah, like,
You did keep saying, I remember this is like surreal. That
Yeah.
Like stuff like, yeah.
that's,
I think that's when it was
that
like,
something like this was finally happening. Cause that's something I would have dreamed of back in like 2005 when I was first getting really into
And
the
such a
series.
thing
I'm
did
like,
not
that's what I
exist.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
not
I
even
me-
in Japan.
I bought the first piece of One Piece merchandise I ever found in like a US store, and I still have it. Like that's a mini POP of Luffy from like the report time.
Oh, yeah.
uh,
I love those.
I was in Forbidden Planet in New York, and I saw that there. I'm like, holy shit, One Piece merch. Now, like, you could find it. Well, I mean, you got that stupid Water 7 board game, so
Well, that was a Kino.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to,
Yeah.
we should crack that open at some point too. But no, yeah, getting back to what I was going to ask you originally. So being
Sure.
a professional, like, first of all, really appreciate you taking the time to draw the drawings that you did, and they're really cool. But like, how is it? I mean, you were talking a little bit about before how it's if you don't care about being a little more candid about it, just like how it's a little more difficult to kind of draw like the stuff you would for a convention normally versus like professional, like because you're doing it professionally. So I'm assuming it's a little harder to draw for fun.
yeah,
That's more what I mean.
I think I've always had trouble drawing for fun.
I don't mean this to become a session.
No, I'll be honest. I don't like I wouldn't call myself an artist. I feel like I draw.
I'm
Man,
accidentally making this a Steve Urkel interview.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I think for me it's
No,
I
it's
won't take up
fine.
too much time.
No, take up all
I
the
feel
time.
like my approach to art, it's almost like maybe it's more like a filmmaker. It's like I have like a vision, like one complete package, and that's what I want to make. Like, cause like if you see like most of the stuff I make for conventions, like prints, I go out of my way to do crazy illustrations. Like the last 2 I did these 2 wrestling prints, but I just put so much effort into like trying to fit all these people in there. When like some people, they'll just draw like 1 or 2 characters on a print, which is fine. But like I can't see myself doing that a lot of times. I'm like, no, I want to get this
We're all
character. I want to
different.
look like a movie poster. I think like maybe I do like stress out about things and think too much about things, and I think that applies to my art sometimes.
So it must be good to do storyboarding where you kind of have a deadline and you just have to do the thing.
I think deadlines are good. I think, yeah, deadlines could be rough, but I think, yeah, when you give an artist a deadline, because artists should not be in charge of their own schedules.
Yeah.
Because we would give ourselves all the time in the world.
Yeah.
And
I remember Strips by Steve.
I think
you're bringing up all my shit.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Shit on me for that. Because I think we will keep things in the oven for far too long.
Yeah. I mean, I do that too. Yeah.
But I think, yeah, like it was fun doing shitty Photoshop images for the episode images, or just finding the right screen cap. But I think this was part of a movement. You wanted things to be more our own. Like, and it started with our logo. And I think people didn't like our new logo at first, but I was always a fan of it because I thought, no, we should have something that's uniquely our own. And I think people like the original one more, but it's like,
the original one's great.
Yeah, it's like, and that's done by my friend John, who I knew since I was in middle school. Yeah, who did the original vectors of all those Jolly Rogers. So the reason why you could find such nice quality images of like practically every Jolly Roger in One Piece is because that guy did
John,
it.
Yeah. They are really beautiful and well done.
Yeah, he did a lot of he helped us out. He made a lot of logos for us in the beginning. And yeah, it is a good one, and it's familiar because it's One Piece, but at the same time, I think it was good because I think we do need something that's uniquely
we need to be our own. Yeah.
And then that happened with episode images. Like, we should do our own. And I think I blame myself for being lazy and not wanting to do those.
Yeah, I also wanted you to be able to participate. Like I did. I mean, it happened that Maddie was going away to Japan, and you volunteered to step in.
Mm-hmm. And it's stressful. Like I don't think of myself. It's funny being like a board artist, but I can be a perfectionist. I can like focus on things for too long, or like I could take too long. But I think what's fun about doing the images, like I have like a set time. It's like throughout because usually like throughout the entire manga recap and after the manga recap, that's usually when we have to decide.
Yeah.
And then I have the rest of the recording to like get it done pretty much.
Now until the next morning sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, if you want it. But like, so the closest thing I could think of it to is like when I played piano more often, not this broken one here, but when I was a kid and I played piano, it's like you notice every little mistake that you make.
Yeah.
But when you're listening to it, you don't, because it just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't notice a mistake because you're not savvy enough to notice the mistake. So, I mean, for me, your art, I don't notice those things. So I think you could be rest assured that us as laymen think it is all perfect and that you have made no mistakes.
Oh, I don't know. I made plenty.
So what's the favorite image that you did for this year?
One thing I want to say about the images is I think it's outside of work-related drawing, I think that's the most drawing I've done. Like, was
I'm glad
One Piece podcast episode images. Yeah, get me going. I'd say I think that's one of the most satisfying things I've done this year, or the images.
Good. I don't want to make you do things you don't want to do.
I mean, they're like, not everyone's always going to appreciate them. It's nice to get like a few comments.
Whoever's on the podcast episode will appreciate them.
Here's the thing. Yeah. I get one of the most satisfying feelings I have ever felt is just that moment of when we start going over ideas for episode titles, and when I drop those sketches into the Skype chat and just they'll start to hear all that laughter, like everyone cracking up.
That's probably one of my favorite parts of the recording.
It's one of the best feelings in the world. So that makes it worth it. Like, I don't care. It's like half the time I don't care if no one gives it a comment at all. They're putting a lot of work into it, but just getting that reaction is I think that's just why I like to create.
I mean, I'll say right now, I am very sad that we could not post some of like the alternate art that we did. Like, even this is for 600. If you're on Patreon, you could see all these. We have. What was the title? I didn't have a title.
Oh, that was just like I equated young Marco and Jozu to Timon and Pumbaa because they're looking at like Odin and Toki falling in love.
And
I did my best Nathan Lane.
And this is cut that prequel bullshit, and it's with Blackbeard creating the Mary. It all comes from. And this is Yasue saying, "Why'd you say that again?" Slowly coming into frame.
That one I wish it could have just been animated.
Yeah, I like one day maybe we could put that animation.
Remember when I did? I think it was it Luffy as the hamster biting into the banana that's like huge.
Oh yeah,
That was one where I think that was the elephant one where it was like we can't use that.
you're like he's like a brother to me because I thought that Odin was serious about how much he loved Orochi. Squeezes his cheeks. And Clay was a fantastic title though.
So if people do listen to like those podcasts, the Patreon extras where we just discuss that, I think that's one of the best parts of the episode that we don't actually include.
Yeah, so I want to ask you, what are your favorites that you've done, and then what are your favorites that Maddie's done? And let's see if you could tell the difference. No,
I mean, all of them are
I could
just going off of this year.
Yeah, just this year. Let's see what Steve likes. Exciting podcast.
Saying like
the
line work on the re-education of Zoro is so bold. That one looks really good.
That was Maddie.
Yeah, saying like
okay.
That one's really good.
No, I love that.
I'm probably not going to compliment too many of mine.
Oh, mine.
Babar Nuki is really good.
I remember that one took you a while because what's his name? Baba Nuki look is like so intricate,
so many details. Yeah, and that was rough earlier in the year when we were in the prison, and most of our episode images were based off of the prison workers. And I would like just groan. I'm like, they have so many fucking details on them. BFD Luffy, I think, looks really good.
But with Baba Nuki,
that one boy really liked when BFD Luffy took his shirt off.
That was so I posted that. Did I tell you about? I told you about this, Steve. I think.
Yeah,
I posted.
And then we were on that stupid article.
We were on a clickbait.
Did you know that this tweet happened? And it is a tweet. Look at some of the responses to this tweet. And I'm like, yeah. It's like we need more articles describing tweets.
Listicles. The Barbar Nuki one I really like because it's the really simple. Not to break it down completely, but the simple Babar on top of this
highly rendered Baba Nuki.
It's very funny. It's funny imagining Babar on.
A lot of these are a lot of fun. The not Komonosaki one.
You're accidentally playing the episode.
The not Komonosaki one was a sketch for another episode. Then we wound up using it for that week. Yeah.
But I mean, here's a good image. Oh God,
I do like the Robin's Bangs one just because I kept it black and white because otherwise the joke wouldn't work.
But it also looks like an old Japanese like.
It kind of does,
movie, yeah. The fucking creepiest one is the Easter Bunny.
Easter Cara Bunny. Oh my! I like that one because of the colors. I stuck with like
you made it like super horrifying.
Yeah,
like that's I remember all the comments to that being like, "What cursed image did you just post?"
Yasu's Last Stand with the Return of the Jedi ghost. Is really
I still get comments on YouTube that are like, "Who's the guy in the middle?
Who should I have picked instead?"
No, that was perfect.
I kind of like that I picked Mr. 11 because I'm like,
he's dead.
You know, you're a real One Piece fan. I mean,
right.
Who else?
It's like a test.
Who else would we have picked?
Who died?
Yeah, like who actually died not in a flashback?
Gonna say Pell.
They should have just went with Ace. You know?
Oh yeah, I mean,
hole in his chest.
No, but I like how you did more obscure characters. No, the We Want to Know one where you had all the little Luffy Taro and you crossed it out, or Luffy, the man who become king of the pirates. That was all great
with negative 125 points. Sorry,
there's a whole scene.
I watched some Celebrity Jeopardy segments.
They're great. Those are great.
Luffy Taro, who's grinning like an idiot. Queen's Queso. The manga Muppets one was really good. I mean, that one I worked off like an actual still of Kermit Cookie.
So I'm gonna ruin the Queen's Queso image for you. If you look closely, it looks like you could see her nipples in the shirt because of where the dots are.
Oh no! Yeah,
that's all I could see.
Got those big pepperoni ones,
right?
Open Sim I really liked because that one I fluked on that star effect. That one I was just like, ooh, that looks good. I'm keeping that.
Yeah, I remember you really liked that one.
I do really like that
it's one. It's good. I love the hat on Sanji. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Maddie had some thoughts. You were already Elephant, most stupid title, but I do think that's my favorite.
That one's worth listening to the Patreon segment of us getting just like
Steve was so fed up.
Like I was laughing too, but I was also like fed up.
He was like, I don't care, guys. Just pick something.
Absolute Fitness was one. I wasn't on that episode. I came home. I was driving back from pretty much San Diego, and you guys just gave me the premise, and I drew it that night.
Yeah, Maddie did the same thing with the most recent one. I love that image.
Ideal Family.
I love that.
It was a fun one.
And the great thing is that was just basically what was there.
Yeah.
Right? That was like the panel.
No, I mean, the panel was them walking by and I made a family portrait.
Oh, I love that one. Because that could be used in so many situations.
His name was Stampede. I just like drawing Douglas Bullet as Stampede. Yeah, Big Cannoli is a funny one. That was like the only one. I think
We
it's
didn't
like,
have a real title to go with the image.
That's the only one we've ever really done based off of. No, I think that one's based off
The Lion King.
But the title page, the cover.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like the only one we ever did of that. And like yeah, every now and then I would do some cover page ones.
Maddie, like this was a really great streak for Maddie. I think.
Yeah.
Because I love all of these.
And she
Where
came
in,
back
where in
from
the world
Japan.
is Roronoa Zoro?
Like I said, like that's great merch right there.
Yeah, where
Like,
the wild numbers are
Yeah.
is fantastic.
I
I
think-
love the idea of Kaido.
I
as
think that was a title I came up with.
Yeah.
And like I
That's
think
a good
she
one.
already sketched it, I think, so she was on the ball with that.
The Helmeppo one I
Helmeppo
love.
Captain.
You love dog.
You Love Dog was such a good. I think
God.
that was like a collective mind one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all came together on that
It's
one.
like imagine if they just came in from
really what-
behind on there.
I can't believe it's not Nami. I think that one I'll give credit just because she did like a great job of making this character look like Nami,
But
and
also
it's not
yeah,
Nami.
not Nami.
There's some other ones I like.
I do love your chopper, and you were right. You
Takazashi
hadn't done
point.
a chopper, I don't think.
No, yeah,
The Florida Man one, we had so many good freaking images on that episode too. That was a really hard one.
that
to
was the one.
chase.
Yeah, yeah, that was the one. Like,
And then
Maddie I
Alex
recorded from
did
the same
one.
place.
The
Yeah,
Cavity creep. It is crazy. His face does look just like a tooth.
it does. They're called Pokemon. Is really cute.
I mean, yeah, that's Maddie's forte too.
I think Wanobu, best episode title, possibly best image. I think that one is, man, that is a winner.
It is a great image.
That's such a good one.
with the koi fish
That's.
and the really Odin.
I think that one. Yeah, she drew
Body pillow.
she drew the body pillow, and I'm like, it should be Odin with the beef tendon,
Tendon,
or whatever.
beef tendon. Wasn't that no? That was what Kinemon were. I think the beef tendon one.
That's right. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
Oh, who cares?
I think I'm sure Odin has
Same
worn something similar.
But yeah, it's kind of
been a good year.
I really enjoy the episode images. Like I feel like it's.
Wait, I want to find the alternate.
Isn't that most of our show is just
Oh, wait. Here's the
our show is
596, the little freak one. Law and Odin. I forgot about that title. Who's got two thumbs and his daimyo? Daimyo. Wait, that's not the one I wanted to find though. Oh, and then the picture of Smoker saying, "I think the pants ate your clam chowder," to Alex.
because then he spilled his clam chowder. or
Yeah,
something.
he did. And then Maddie said that, I think. Wait, no, I want to find. Oh, here's the Florida Man one.
It's always interesting, like the differences between her images and mine,
Oh yeah, we drew the Florida Man
because
article.
she'll pick up on different things than I would in a
And
conversation.
I pick up on different things that both of you pick up on. Like sometimes you guys come
Yeah.
up with a great image. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't write this down.
Like I think she'll pick up on a lot of subtle things in conversations, and I think I kind of just go off of this got a big laugh. It's like I'll go off of that, but
That's
never
usually what I do. Sometimes I write a thing down if like I find it's really funny, and if only I find it's funny.
But it's I feel like we were like peak episode titles like in 2015, but now we have like the images. So
It's a whole different time. I agree with you though. 2015, I think we're probably.
I think
our
that's
best
like
episode
that is
title.
peak episode title year.
I mean, I could probably.
We don't have to. It's not. That's
we
not a
don't have to
20
do
minute.
that. Okay, I think we've been recording for over an hour.
I mean, what else is there to go over?
Yeah, Steve, let's go over everything.
Japan.
Japan.
That was a huge thing. Shut up out there.
No one's doing anything.
I mean, that was a big effing deal.
Yeah,
To go to Japan
it was amazing.
together.
Together.
Yeah,
And talking with the editors.
I could go back.
Let's
I don't
do
know
it
if
now.
I don't know if I want to though.
Do you want to go back now?
Yeah, but it has to be. It has to be all of us.
Got to get the crew back.
I mean,
together.
I could.
Time for a
I could. I
montage.
can go back to Japan. I could set that up, but I'm like, will I have as much fun?
No.
I think I have to get over that though. I think I have to like the next time I go to Japan, I have to make peace with the fact I'm like, it's not going to be that
as
trip.
As long as you have me plan it for you,
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
I don't think I'll ever take a vacation without you planning it. So,
My services are open.
it's like, Zach, I'm going to New Orleans. Can you look up things for me to do?
Yes, Steve. I really enjoy doing that for whatever reason. I mean,
Well, thank God. Otherwise, that trip could have like went to hell. But
I think I
I wouldn't know to take a tiny little bus up into the fucking mountains to stay at a fucking
That took a lot
ryokan.
of research too. But like,
I would give up. I would complain.
by
That's
foot?
I'd just complain that it's too hard and then just not look it up. But
that's definitely an option.
Mm-hmm.
But
worth it though.
Yeah. I wish we had more
It was
time,
worth
though.
it for just waking up in the morning and just taking a walk down the road and just seeing old people just soaking their feet in like those fucking sulfur.
Oh, I'm trying to
things,
remember what
water.
you're even referring to.
The
hot spring?
Yeah.
The sulfur water?
Yeah, like
It
where
did
the
smell
bus
like
stop
that.
was, people were just soaking their feet
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And I was like, I have never been in a place that looks like this before. It was just even the mountains there, and like
Yeah.
where where you live and where I'm from, we're surrounded by mountains in New York, but not like those.
No.
It was just like a completely different shape. It's like when I see photos of China now, and I'm like, oh my god, the mountains in China actually look like the ones in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. So there's Greg always told me, and I still have not, but he's like, if you go to Japan, you should go to Kagawa. Go there, it'll be like you're in Dragon Ball, because all the mountains there, they're all those like kind of like those tall, super tall, cool peaks.
Yeah.
So, and they also have a One Piece water park there. So like,
I gotta go to the Sanji statue now.
yeah, there's so much. Steve, we could have gone there for another few months.
Yeah.
Just doing One Piece shit.
I would've been-
and still not run out of stuff.
Yeah,
to do.
I would have been.
I mean, if you're
I would have been happier than a pig in shit. I just,
pigs enjoy shit.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the phrase. It just doesn't make any sense. But I like if you're a One Piece fan and you're going to Japan, I don't really think there's a way you could run out of things to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, Greg's been there for like 10 years and he's still doing shit.
I loved everything about it. I just even just walking around just certain parts of Japan, just like the cities and just everything does look like, I mean, it looks like the anime, like animes,
Yeah.
as anime, I'd say. By anime, I wanted to say plural, but then I'd say animes, but that's not the correct plural.
I mean,
everything's almost like a little miniature, everything's smaller. Like we're used to New York and like LA, everything's just big, sometimes spread out, but
at the same time, Tokyo has like 3 times more people than New York City.
yeah, but I didn't feel too claustrophobic.
No,
In Tokyo. I mean,
Yeah.
in certain rooms. And yes.
No, but they do. I think they do a really. Tokyo is like a city that somehow has a lot going on, but for some reason, and I know you guys did at times, but I didn't. I never feel overwhelmed in Tokyo.
I didn't feel that overwhelmed. I think I felt
Definitely did.
Yeah. Sorry, Ed. You get a little stressed out easier than I do.
Yeah.
I think also because we had you there, so I was Zach's got it.
Well, the other thing is I do this at cons too. I just run and dart through crowds.
Yeah,
So,
and you're tiny, and I sometimes
yeah.
can't keep up.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I think navigating the trains was difficult for me at first, and figuring out what ones to take. And I got a little lost. And sometimes I was coming back from Odaiba, and then my train started going back in the direction of Odaiba, so I had to figure out. Thank God for maybe I'm too reliant on my phone, but thank God all I would have to do is go on my phone.
Well, it used to be that you
yeah,
couldn't. I
couldn't.
know we got that Wi-Fi thing.
Yeah.
It's a Kelly.
And now I could go on like Google Maps and I know my route to take. And if I didn't know, I would I would send screen caps to you, like Maddie or someone else, and be like, "Hey, is this right?"
So in 2013, I had Greg basically was the Zach of that trip, where
Yeah.
he was planning everything. Google Maps didn't really work because I listened to my dad, and he's like, "They have Wi-Fi everywhere." They didn't have Wi-Fi anywhere.
they don't.
I don't know why I listened to my dad, who had never been to Japan. Here's some more sake. But it was such somehow, even though I was like much more in charge, I think. Not just because we were doing less, I think we actually took it much easier, believe it or not, than we did in 2013. But it was much less stressful.
yeah. From what I know, yeah.
Well, we didn't hit any old people with our suitcases.
No,
Sorry, Greg.
I don't think I hit any old people.